Will you come to the wedding tomorrow?
Matteo hesitated for a moment, then said reluctantly,
Let's put it off for a while. Cecilia drank too much tonight and has a splitting headache. I have to stay here to take care of her.
How long do we have to postpone it?
Next month or even a month after that will do. What difference does it make whether it's earlier or later?
none at all, because there's no wedding to postpone anymore. I pulled the folded papers from my purse.
Please sign this document.
Matteo took the file without even looking at it. He pulled out a pen and scribbled his name in the signature lines.
Done.
He said, handing the papers back.
I'll have the chef make you white truffle risotto tomorrow to make it up to you.
And with that, he got back in his car and drove away. I married Don Matteo in secret. Every time he fucked his childhood sweetheart, he promised me a real wedding in front of the 5 families. For 5 years, Matteo promised me 99 times. And 99 times, he left me at the altar. The first time, Cecilia's prize-winning show cat died. Cecilia called Matteo crying.
Matteo, my cat died. You have to stay with me tonight.
To comfort her, he postponed the wedding for 3 months.
Don't cry, baby. I'll be right there. Just postpone the wedding for 3 months. She can wait.
I stood at the altar alone, eyes red, trying to calm down the family elders. The second time, Cecilia threw a tantrum at a casino and shattered a $100 million antique vase. The casino manager was about to call the police, but Cecilia just laughed mockingly.
It's just a stupid vase, isn't it? Just have Matteo come and pay for it.
Matteo got the call and, without a second thought, diverted the private jet originally meant for the wedding.
Let Natalia wait. My woman got into trouble. Of course I'm going to clean up her mess.
And every time, right before our wedding, his childhood sweetheart would have some kind of emergency. I cried. I screamed. I even held a gun to his head.
She's just to fuck you on Mrs. Falcone. Have some goddamn class.
After the 99th time, I was finally done. I slid the papers across the table. The ink was still wet. The Falcone family seal stamped at the bottom. Our marriage, our alliance, it's over. For the 98th time, Matteo missed our wedding rehearsal. This time, it was to celebrate taking over the Moretti family's arms territory. His mistress, Cecilia, threw him a lavish party. 3 hours in, my guy Tony, who was inside, sent me the first encrypted message. In the video, Matteo stood in the middle of a private club, champagne flute in his hand. All the family coppers were circling him and Cecilia like they were royalty. Amid the cheers, Matteo downed his champagne. Then Matteo swept her up and carried her toward a private room in the back. Before the door even closed, you could hear Cecilia moaning. The crowd outside the door just laughed.
Looks like the boss is gonna have an heir soon. It's no secret he's addicted to her body. We all know where this is going. She'll be Mrs. Falcone.
All right, leave them to it. Let's get back to our drinks.
Mrs. Falcone. They called her Mrs. Falcone. I'd been his secret wife for 5 years, and no one knew I was the real Mrs. Falcone. They all thought that bitch was the only one. I shut off the video. My stomach churned, and I ran to the bathroom, dry heaving over the toilet. Nothing came up. I hadn't eaten properly in 3 days. I had no more tears to cry. This thing between us had to end. At 3 a.m., I got word the party was over. I stood at the gates of the Falcone estate, waiting for him with the papers I'd prepared. The armored car pulled up slowly, its body gleaming under the moonlight. Matteo got out of the driver's side, his suit jacket slung over his arm, the top 3 buttons of his white shirt undone. His hair was a mess. His lips were swollen. In the passenger seat, Cecilia was curled up on the leather, telltale stains high on the inside of her thighs. She was passed out drunk, a satisfied smile on her face.
She had too much to drink.
Should I call one of the maids for her?
No. I'm just dropping something off. I'll take her to her apartment after.
Such a considerate man. Too bad he was my husband. I remembered a night 2 years ago. A rival family attacked us at a gala. A bullet flew through Matteo, and I dove in front of them without a second.
Thank goodness you're all right.
After I was rescued, Matteo frowned at me with pure disgust and said,
Your blood is too filthy. I can't let it ruin my leather seats. Find your own way home.
That day, he left me alone outside the estate. I walked for 3 hours before I finally got home. He didn't seem to mind the stench of alcohol at all. Turns out, all his rules were only made for me.
Will you come to the wedding tomorrow?
Matteo hesitated for a moment, then said reluctantly,
Let's put it off for a while.
twisted devotion of his was real too. And that's why my little joke was also real. What he just signed was not the asset transfer documents at all. They were about the dissolution of our alliance and our divorce. After 5 years, my marriage to Matteo is finally coming to an end. The next afternoon, I met the Falcone family's lawyer, James, and formally requested the return of all Rossi family assets. James looked up. His face was pure shock.
You're certain? You want to pull all legitimate businesses from the Falco portfolio? But under your management, their value has tripled in 5 years. Why so suddenly?
He trailed off. I dropped my gaze. Before yesterday, I'd believed that too. These businesses were my tools. I used them to launder every dollar of Matteo's bloody empire. I remembered 3 years ago, Matteo holding me in our penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan as the sunset painted the city gold.
See all those skyscrapers?
He'd said, pointing.
Half of that comes from my casinos and my deals.
This empire's nothing without you.
Back then, I believed him. I used my head for business to wash every dirty dollar he made. Casino cash became art investments. Profits from underground deals became real estate developments. I built him a legitimate empire.
Mrs. Falcone, are you certain about this?
James's voice pulled me back.
Obey the order. I want all the documents on my desk by tomorrow afternoon.
After confirming the procedures, I walked out of his office. The moment I got back in my car, my encrypted phone buzzed. When I opened it, it was a photo from Cecilia. It was her kissing a sleeping Matteo. Her swollen breasts were pressed against his chest. Right after the photo came a message. Had to take care of me all night after I drank too much. Now he's left his marks all over me. Oh, so sore. I thought about all the other times. Before, her cheap tricks would always set me off. Matteo and I would fight. We'd even gotten physical. And every time, he'd shut me up with a rougher kiss.
I told you, she's just for fun, for the thrill.
On the shelves. When I first secretly married Matteo, he never let me in there. Until one drunken night, but now he'd let Cecilia in without a second thought. The me from back then was so pitifully stupid, deceived by his sweet words again and again. Foolishly, I let him lie to me 98 times.
Marka,
I said, looking at the nervous butler.
Yes, ma'am.
the rules have changed.
I cut him off.
From now on, there are no rules for her.
I walked toward the master bedroom on the second floor, each step light and slow. The divorce papers, signed by Matteo himself, felt warm in my hand. From downstairs, I heard Cecilia scream. A scream of climax. Then, Matteo's low laugh. I thought of him signing the papers last night, distracted, his mind already on his way to Cecilia. He never even read them, because it never occurred to him that I would want to leave him. For 5 years, I had endured every betrayal, every humiliation, every broken promise. He thought I would endure it forever. He was wrong. There wouldn't be a next time. I went back to the bedroom and looked at the closets full of clothes. Every single piece held a memory, a broken promise, the red silk evening gown. Matteo said the color was like blood, like a rose, like his love for me. The white cashmere coat. He bought it for me in Paris. Said it would protect me from the Chicago cold. The black lace lingerie, his favorite. Every one of them was a monument to a lie. I started to pack, then stopped. These clothes weren't mine. They were costumes for a life that was a lie. He could keep them.
Natalia.
An hour later, Matteo's voice came from downstairs, low and tired. My hand froze in midair.
Make me the tea and bring it to the study. I have a long night ahead of me.
The calming tea. For years, whenever Matteo had trouble with business or insomnia after an attack from a rival family, he'd have me make it for him. I'd made it for him countless times, and every time he'd say only my tea could help him sleep.
I will. This would be the last time.
With a sigh, I stood up and went to the kitchen. I didn't expect to see Cecilia there. When she saw me, the smirk played on her lips.
Natalia, your patience is really something else. I thought you were going to storm in and rip my clothes off.
As she spoke, she deliberately pushed out her chest, showing off the angry red hickey on her collarbone.
Is that right?
I looked down, taking out the herbs one by one.
Would you like a cup? This batch just came in. $6,000 a pound.
My calmness threw her. She looked me up and down like I was some kind of freak.
Do you know why he needs that tea tonight?
Cecilia leaned against the counter, hiking her skirt up even higher.
Because we were going so wild in the study. He said you never get him that worked up. And you want to know the real reason he married you? It was a bet between him and me.
My hand stopped.
What bet?
I turned to face her. Cecilia's smile grew wider.
A bet that if he married the Rossi family's grieving little princess, he could get those old men in your family to hand over control of the dock. And you know what the stakes were?
Cecilia went on.
I had to sleep with him 30 times. As long as you married him, willingly.
Matteo's tall frame filled the kitchen doorway. His face was a storm of down and quietly picked up the scattered herbs.
He won't need the tea,
I said, standing up, my voice terrifyingly calm.
It looks like you'll have him sleeping soundly tonight.
Cecilia smirked in triumph. Matteo just stood there, a storm of emotions. I turned to leave.
Natalia, wait!
Matteo called after me. I didn't turn back.
Is there anything else you need to say about the bet?
It's not what you think.
Then what is it?
I spun around and stared into his eyes.
Matteo, look at me and tell me the truth. When you married me, was there ever a single moment you did it because you actually cared for me?
He opened his mouth, but no words came out.
See? He admits it.
I just nodded and turned away in silence. Later that night, as I was getting ready for bed, my encrypted phone rang. It was Matteo.
Natalia, what Cecilia said this afternoon, she was just making it up. Don't take it to heart.
His voice was urgent, like he was terrified I'd believe her.
Don't worry. I understand everything now.
No, you don't. Maybe it started with business, but I fell in love with you.
Perhaps my overly calm demeanor made Matteo uneasy. He said anxiously.
I swear, next month I'll give you a real wedding at Lake Como.
I closed my eyes. The same promise he'd been making for 5 years.
Natalia, what?
I was going to tell him the truth.
Are you free tomorrow? About the alliance agreement and our marriage?
Before I could finish, Cecilia's voice cut in from his end of the line, a sultry purr.
Matteo, how much longer are you going to be?
Matteo's voice dropped, sounding rushed.
Natalia, what did you just say? I didn't catch that. There's an urgent matter I need to handle in Las Vegas. Everything else can everything wait until I get back.
I stared at the black screen and let out a cold laugh. I was going to give him a clean break, but he couldn't even give me that. In the days that followed, I finished all power transfers and asset withdrawals. I moved my things back to the Rossi family estate. My father's study was exactly as he'd left it.
Welcome home, miss.
Our butler, Antonio, said respectfully.
Your room has been prepared.
In the days that followed, Matteo sent me messages every day. A castle hotel on the shores of Lake Como, a Victorian chapel, a $3 million custom wedding gown. Every picture came with the same text. For you. It looked like he was finally trying. But at the same time, Cecilia was posting daily videos to her private social media. Her and Matteo popping champagne in the presidential suite, Caesar's Palace. Her walking through casinos in a $1 million Hermes couture gown. Her filming from Matteo's private jet, showing off a new Cartier bracelet on her wrist. Every video was a declaration to the world. She was the woman Matteo adored. The day before Matteo's promised wedding, Tony came to me in a hurry. He handed me a tablet.
Miss, you need to see this.